That's the good thing about a video.
Just to finish off, we are living in a country, like I said, with our mainstream media feeding us a one-sided narrative. The government, Stephen Donnelly, who is Minister for Health, he's a civil engineer. He has no medical qualifications whatsoever. Okay? He is a proven liar, actually. He was on radio, television, telling people that he was an accidental politician. He said he fell into it by accident, but he seemed to have forgotten that he worked with Boris Johnson over in the UK for a big American company who, their name escapes me at this moment, okay, but these people in positions of power in our government, like Roderick O'Gorman, the Minister for Children, who has no children, he's actually quite friendly with people with dubious pasts. So he's dictating what's going to happen with our children. An medically qualified man is dictating our health. It has come out now that Ursula von der Leyen in the EU has bought enough vaccines for every person in Europe so that they will all have 10 boosters. So I don't want any of them, you know what I mean? So no. Who is in control of these contracts that they have with these massive drug companies? Now, I'm going to mention one of them, they're Pfizer. They are up to their assholes in Ireland with new vaccine companies. Now Chinese one opening up in Drogheda, sorry.
Yeah. No, it's Dundalk, I think.
Dundalk, okay. Yeah. Now that's Chinese, nothing to do with But Pfizer are a multinational company, okay? They hold the world record for the biggest criminal fine in history. So Pfizer are the biggest criminal,
something like 4 billion, wasn't it?
They put aside 4.3 billion every year for litigation, if you can just get your head around that. Like, there's supposed to be a health company, looking after our health. So basically, 4.3 billion would build a lot of hospitals. It would, could be invested in research and development.
Just because there's a lot of background noise.
Okay.
Sorry for interrupting your
train. But if you go onto the Department of Justice in the United States, go onto the Department of Justice website, type in Pfizer's criminal record, even type that into Google, and you will be blown away by the deceit, the lying, the selling drugs that don't work for what they're supposed to, giving doctors backhanders. You think the mafia were bad. Now, this is all going on in our country. Our mainstream media are still promoting, go and get your next booster. They've bought 10 for each people. This is costing hundreds of billions. We have problems here in Ireland. We have homelessness, and now we've got a refugee scandal going on that's unvetted and uncontrolled. So, I just drove down, we came down by Phibsborough there, and I saw about 12, I'd say 8 guys. And here's one coming now, military kind of haircuts. He's a bit, but they're, military age men walking around. Like, I was just thinking, like, if it had been on Saturday night and you're drunk, like, what would these guys do to you? Like, they're not from here. They have no, their heart's not in this place.
No connection.
Why are they being brought in here? So, and if we have this hate speech law, we won't be able to say anything about it now after Christmas, like, because we'll be talking hate speech. So, this is really, really important. Now, we have a way out of this, as far as I'm aware. Okay, I've been finding out about common law, constitutional law, and I've met people on the last year and a half, and not by coincidence. Everybody I meet, I'm meant to,
Yeah.
So, we have a 1937 constitution, and it was brought into effect, I think, around July. It took a while to get it together. It's a 63 article constitution written in a font that's called Clo Gaelic. Now, it looks a bit like calligraphy if anybody is. I never heard of Clo Gaelach. I never learned it at school. But this was our official text and language.
Was it handwriting?
It's writing, yes, it's print.
Yeah. Oh, print.
But it is also a language because in the 1937 Constitution they tell us the colour of our flag. So when you read it in Irish, I'd never heard the words mentioned in it. I'm sorry, I can't remember them at the top of my head. Gloss was green, Bawn was white, and Aráiste was orange. That's how I was taught my colours in Irish.
Yeah.
Gloss, Bawn, agus Aráiste. But in the book, in Clo Gaelach, it doesn't say any of those three words. They're completely different words. So we've lost these, we're losing this. You know, we've already, the British did a great job on robbing us of our language. And, you know, we've all come out of school. How could you come out of school after, say, 8, 9, 10 years being taught a subject and not being able to do diddly?
Yeah.
Couple of fuckles. So, there's an I could go on for ages with history, but listen, the law, studying bits of common law, do no harm. That's all you need, is just to do no harm to anybody.
Yes.
The 1937 Constitution states that the name of our state is Éire. That is one of the articles in the Constitution. Éire is the entire island of Ireland, all 32 counties, with its islands and seas. Éire never joined the EU. We were never in the EU as a 32 county full with no borders. What we have for the last 100 years is the statelets of the Republic of Ireland and the statelet of Northern Ireland. 2 statelets. So we've been under the Crown for the last 100 years. The Constitution that we are under at present is the 1942 Constitution, sometimes known as the Blue Book Constitution. A blue book would be a royal colour. It's not an Irish colour. Our colour is green, our colour is yellow, gold, and the 1937 Constitution has a gold cover. It wasn't in effect for very long because in 1939 the Second World War started on the 1st of September. On the 2nd of September they decided to change our 1937 Constitution, so they doctored it and they cut out 13 articles from the back of the 1937. So the 1942 has only 50 articles, the 1937 has 63. So in the 63rd article that has been omitted, it states that in any case of a misunderstanding in the text, that the Irish text will prevail. Every law has to be written in Clo Gaelach and handed in, signed by the Taoiseach, the President, and I think the Chief Justice. Now, as far as I'm aware, the last law that was passed that did any of that, went through any of that due process, was 1983. So we are currently, we're living in what is known as, our court system is contract law. So when we appear in court for whatever reason, we are in contract with the court system and the government. Our letters are sent to us with all capitals. Your name is spelt out with no upper or lowercase text. It's always all capitals. So this is to do with your birth certificate, and even to go back to 1666, the Cestui QV Trust. So we are living men, and we are born on a sovereign island, and we are all sovereign. But when we apply and accept a birth certificate, which we all do, I did it for my 2 children. I thought it was what you had to do because they wouldn't get a passport, they wouldn't get a driver's license. So we have been conned into the thinking that we need a birth certificate. What we're actually doing then is we're representing ourselves as a dead entity in court, Our names are written like they would be on a tombstone. So we are actually representing our legal fiction, which is called our straw man. But we are the living man. We didn't choose our surname, it was given to us. So what we have to do is come back and take just our Christian names, our Christ names, which mine are Philip James. So I am Philip James of the Dowling clan, or the Dowling family. I didn't ask to be called Dowling, you know, it was just... So it's putting personage on a person. It's illegal to put personage on somebody. So there's a lot to take in here, but if I can get back to the 1942 Constitution, there are women currently in court with Tusla in Kilkenny, having their children, 2 boys taken off the mother who was a nurse. There's an article in the 1937 Constitution that says that parents are the main teachers of the children. So it's the parents' decision to take their children out of these schools if they don't want them in there. These schools are... I dread to think what young children are going to be like in 5 years, 6 years, even in 2 years' time, if they keep getting taught all this gender dysphoria, fucking nonsense. There are 2 genders, male and female. If you want to pretend or say that you're a woman, I won't say pretend, because there are men that probably think, and vice versa, like, but just get on and do your own thing. We don't have to cow down to everything you need. You know what I mean? Like, we accept you, you're there, shut the fuck up, I'm sorry. I've heard enough about this, and I think it's disgraceful that more teachers aren't out complaining about what they're teaching children at school.
Yes.
Because if they teach them at that age...
And it's a pity that there aren't teachers out supporting Enoch as well.
They're not, you know, it's a shame, but look, I'm covering a lot here, but the 1937 on Bunrock na HÉireann is the law of the land of Ireland. It has been recognised in courts in the country. The judges sit under a seal which has a harp and the words "era" in Clo Gaelic text. So the fact that it has been recognised in a court of law is a precedent. So if it's recognised in one, it must be recognised in all.
Yeah.
So, like I said, the name of our state is Éire. Éire is the complete island of Ireland, all 32 counties. We never joined as a complete island nation. And in our An Bunreacht Constitution, we have the right to decide our own destinies with whatever country we deal with. It also, you know, we need to look after our own people before we can start looking after others. Like, generation after generation since the foundation of the state, young men have had to emigrate. Australia, London, Canada, America, New Zealand, wherever, South Africa, join the British Army because they're so fucking poor. You know, they've been at this a long, long time, trying to get rid of the Irish people, and I don't care how mad you think I am. They are diluting every nation in Europe. They want, you know, like in New York, everywhere they go, McDonald's, Starbucks, fucking shite. So, you know, I've been lucky enough to travel the world, and I've been to Bangkok, and I could not believe, I just couldn't wait to get out of it. Shopping malls and, oh man, I say, where's the Buddhist monks? Where's the, you know, every country has a unique culture, and it is a crying shame that people are not getting up to defend their cultures. They did this to the Native American Indians, you know. They even actually gave them blankets with smallpox on them, so they all catch it in the, you know, and save on bullets. So we are in a war, okay? And there are no bullets at the minute, you know what I mean? They don't need bullets, they just don't need them. They have other ways of wiping us all off the planet. And, you know, that is the agenda. Bill Gates admitted it, they've all admitted it, you know what I mean? So I hate to be all doom and gloom, but we get this Bunreacht recognised as our constitution, the law of our land. We have the right to choose our own form of government. Now, what we do with them is another thing, like, but They're no use. They're not serving us. Spending all this money on vaccines, giving it to these pharmaceuticals. This is legalised drug dealing.
Yeah.
Like, he's not get it. Look, I lived through the 80s and I have so many friends I've lost from drugs. And people would get up and they would go out and protest outside a drug pusher's house. Okay? Pushers out, pushers out. This is what these people are. Now, I'm going to go out in a fucking wing, and because the hate speech laws aren't in effect yet, this is a truth everybody needs to wake up to. The CEO, Andre Bourla of Pfizer, and the CEO of every other drug company that is producing vaccines, they're all Jewish. Now, am I going to sound anti-Semitic because I'm stating the truth? They are all Jewish. The CDC in America and the FDA and most of the Democratic Party, let me see, that are aides to Biden, they're all Jewish. Now, it's not a coincidence. Let's just park that there, okay? I just wanted to inform people that everybody in all the CEO companies, CDC, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, they're all Jewish.
Maybe we should wind it up, Philip, because I want this to be manageable as
I know. Can you edit? I doubt you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for speaking.